Hey, what's up everybody? This is Dano, aka Daniela. I want to make this video for the young mothers out there, just mothers in general. Anybody can listen to this video. It doesn't matter if you're a male or female. Um, I think it's also important for men to hear this video too, to know the importance of having a father in their child's life, because fathers are doing much better than they did say 20 years ago, 20 years ago, even 30 years ago. But still, we have a issue with fatherlessness here in the United States, in the African American community. But this video is mainly for the mothers out there, especially the young mothers. Like I said before, I work with kids, and I experienced 3 personal incidents recently that I wanted to talk about. So, a few days ago, actually it was last week, there was this mother who had came to me. She had came to the school of her child, and she was very upset. She had brought not only her, but she had got her mother involved. She brought her son, who was, I think he was 20, he was in his early to mid 20s. She had brought them up there and got them involved in this situation. The situation was that her son had traded. I personally saw this. Her son, well, no, I didn't see him trade, but her son had a toy. Right now, with kids, the new yo-yo right now are the fidget spinners. And her son had a new fidget spinner, and he had broke the fidget spinner. He had just got it, and he broke it. He made it very, excuse me. He made it very noticeable. He said it himself. He's like, "Oh man, I just got this. I broke it." I saw him play with it, and I saw him break it. So I tell him to put his toy away. And of course, there's a bunch of other kids with fidget spinners and stuff like that. So what I did not see was her son trade the fidget spinner. So his mother had came out there, brought the grandmother, brought her son, and she was like, "Yeah, some kids stole my son's fidget spinner." I'm like, "Well, okay, I don't know about it because I wasn't informed about it." Your son, who is very verbal, very vocal, he did not say anything to me at all about his fidget spinner being stolen or whatever. So I'm like, that's very strange, because your son is a very vocal person. He would have definitely let me know that his fidget spinner was stolen. So, excuse me, sorry about that. So I told her that was very strange. So she asked, "Was the kid there?" And I'm like, "Well, no, he's not here. You got to wait until later." So she was like, "Okay." She waited. She waited about 30 minutes. I talked to, and it just so happened that the kid did not show up that day. But I talked to 10 other kids saying to me that the son had actually traded in his fidget spinner with the kid that supposedly stole his fidget spinner. So I'm like, okay, I just knew something was up, because like I said, the kid is very vocal, and he would have said something to me if somebody had stolen it. So I knew something was up. So I told her, I relayed the message to her, telling her, "Hey, 10 separate students who were not together all told me that he had traded his fidget spinner." She was like, "Well, I know." And see, mind you, this woman had a attitude. She was cussing around children. She didn't give a damn. She was cussing. She had an attitude and everything. So yeah, so she had an attitude, cussing, This whole time, she had a big attitude. Like, she was ready to fight. And what I thought was so crazy is that she had brought her, the reason why I mentioned her family, because she had brought them up there as if they were about to fight this kid. You know what I'm saying? So I was already in high alert mode. I was ready to, have to defend some kids if I had to, because, she was very agitated. So when I had confronted her about her son, all these kids saying that her son had traded it, she was like, yeah, that was a story that he initially told me. I'm like, well, then why are you telling me that his fidget spinner was stolen? So see, what I think happened, and, long story short, we end up getting the fidget spinner back, and when he had gave the other boy his back, there was a piece missing on his. So what it came down to be is, I think that the son may have lied to the mom saying that it was stolen, or that he had traded. I think what happened is that he had traded it. The mother saw it, and she saw that the one that he had got for his wasn't as nice as his was, because those little fidget spinners, most of them cost about a few dollars, but his was like a $10 one, and it had lights on and stuff. But see, he had broken off the top piece of his, and I think that's why he traded with another kid. He's a little conniving, scheming little kid, and he had traded with another kid because his was broken. Even though his was cooler, had more features, his was broken, so he didn't want his. So what I think happened was that, he traded it. His mom saw that his was lackluster compared to the one that she had bought him, and was pissed off about that and wanted him to have his back. So what he did is that, because when I gave the kid his fidget spinner back, the other kid, he told me that there was a piece missing from his. And I put two and two together, like, okay, I see what he did. He took the part that was broken on his and took it off the other kids and put it on his. You know what I'm saying? So very schemy. But the moral of the story is that the point of the story is that the mother came all the way up here. Mind you, this woman lives about 5 miles, 6, no, she lives about 7 miles away from the school. She came all the way up there just to cuss us out, get her son's fidget spinner back, when she had not been seen for 3 years, while her son suffered academically and gets in trouble very often. The school had not seen her in 3 years, but she made her ass all the way up there just to get a fucking fidget spinner. I tell you, there's so many fucking mothers these days are so irresponsible. I can see why Tommy Sotomayor says that black women are the worst stewards of children, because there are too many sisters out here who behave this way. I'm not saying that there's not good black mothers out there. There are, but they're being outshined by these piece of shit's mothers, and his mom is a piece of shit. Like, she really is. She is aggressive. I mean, she had no regard for these children at all. She was ready to fight a damn child over a fucking $10 toy that will probably be forgotten and broken and forgotten within a matter of weeks. And then there was another incident today with a different mother. I knew something was up, when I saw her. And she said that, and it's funny because the boy who took the fidget spinner, or traded the fidget spinner that had his mom come up there, he was involved in this one. He had supposedly taken another boy's toy and had traded it off. It was said that he had traded it off and he wasn't going to give it back, or sold it or something like that, and wasn't going to give it back. And his mother, more respectable than the other woman, she, came up there, she was kind of confrontational, and she was trying to address the kid. And it's like, well, when you're dealing with the school or anything like that, you don't address kids. You don't come up there and address a damn child. You come up there and you address the teachers or the administrators. You don't come up there and you don't address a child. You don't confront a child. And that's what she was trying to do. And I had to check her. I had to let her know, like, ma'am, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't come into this area because it can be seen as trespassing, especially if you're coming in here on some rah-rah shit. Like, you can't do that. She collected herself and she knew she was, she chilled out. But I just think it's so crazy how these mothers be ready to fight people over fucking toys, but then when it comes to the education of their child, they are nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be seen. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. These people are mostly these mothers are nowhere to be seen. Um, and another incident. This was with my family. My sister, she celebrates Easter. She celebrates that pagan ass holiday. And the funny thing is that she was throwing it over at my mom's house, and my mom does not celebrate Easter. She's a Muslim. She don't believe in that shit. Um, so, anyways, my sister, she puts the candy in the yard. She leaves, and there was nobody there, so she leaves. And some kids happen to come by. Some neighborhood kids happen to come by. They took the candy, and my sister found out about it. Somebody had told my sister that some kids went in the yard and took the candy. My sister was pissed off. She went around the neighborhood looking for these kids to fight them. She got my little cousin and told him to beat up this little kid over some fucking candy. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. And then when my mom was checking her about it, she got upset. she cussed at my mom, argued with my mom and all this shit. And it was just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Yet she is a terrible mother to her daughter. To my niece, she is a terrible mother. Yet she cares about, you barely care about the education of your child, what's going on with your child, but you care about when somebody steals candy from your kid and shit like that. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. I notice that a lot of young mothers, their priorities are bad, and I am in a position to where I can say this because I work with kids. I'm around their parents. I see their parents day in, day out. I see their interactions, and most young black mothers are terrible mothers. Just because you can buy your kids clothes, just because you spend money on your kids, does not mean that you're a great parent, because a lot of people equate that as being a great parent or as being a great parent. And I'm talking about male and female in this case. They think just because they spend money on their kids or because they pay child support that they're a good parent. That's not the case. If you're a father and your kid is not living with you and you pay child support and you think that's enough, you're a fucked up, terrible father. Because your child needs you physically to be in their life, not just financially. They need you to be in their life physically, spiritually, and emotionally. And a lot of these parents aren't. I'm speaking about male and female in this case, but in that case. But, I'm talking about females right now because I noticed that a lot of them, they think that they're good parents because they can provide for their child. No. You have to do more than that. You have to be there for your child in all facets of life. Educational-wise, so many different facets. Because I see this all the time. I see these young mothers who will buy their kids J's and all this stuff that they don't need. But the things that they do need, when it comes to nurturing, having the mother having some type of father figure in that child's life, if the father's not there, or having that father of the child in that child's life, and teaching the child and worry about the child's education, teaching them morals, they don't do that. They fail so fucking big in that area. And that's a lot of these young mothers, a lot of them. And like I say, I work with kids, I deal with their parents on the daily, and I can say that I come from a good place to really, weigh in on this. And like I said, I'm not talking about all black women, but a lot of them are like this. I mean, terrible parents. And, I hate comparing them to other races of women, but, I have noticed a big difference in other races of women. and not just other races of women, but I would have to say more of ethnic group. It's an issue that affect mostly the African American ethnic group, because other mothers like black women from Africa, black women from the Caribbean are so different when it comes to handling their children. They are there, and most of the times those families have fathers in their households and stuff like that. But I can tell you this: the mothers who are married and who are married to the children of their father, I have noticed a big difference. I have noticed a big difference between single mother households and households single mother households. And I'm also going to group in not single mother households also, but households where the mother is married, but to a man who is not the child's father. I'm gonna put those in the same group with the single mother households, because I notice a big difference between women who are married to men who are not the father of their children, and then a big difference between women who are married to their children's father and who are living in that household. It's a big difference. A big difference. And you can see it in the children. You can really see it in children. The children who has their biological father and mother in the same household, they are much more well behaved than a child who is living in the same household with their biological mother, but maybe with a stepfather. There is a big difference, and I think it's the difference is because only a father can love their child. I think in most cases only a father can love and nurture their child like a father will. And I say this from personal experience in my life. You know what I'm saying? My stepfathers were never there for me like my dad, and taught me the life lessons as my dad. Now I'm not saying that stepfather couldn't, but in a lot of cases, not really. There's usually always some type of issue there, between the child and the father. The stepfather. And this is why I say it's very important for fathers to be in their kid's life and stop being reckless with their penises, their dicks, period. That's why I truly believe in that. Men need to step up, stop being so reckless with your penis, stop having babies with these women who are not good mother material, period. Same thing with the sisters. Stop having babies with these guys who are not good fathers, because you can scope that shit out before you even get pregnant. But people move too fast. They move way too fast. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say. A lot of mothers, they need to have their kids' fathers in their kids' lives. And when it comes to these sisters and their attitudes, I think a lot of them have very big character flaws. A lot of them lack self-control, discipline, and really, I think that a lot of them, they just need to really take a look at themselves, because this one woman today, I think she realized that she stepped out of line, and that's a good thing. People, we have to check these grown fools out here, these people who are grown and act like little kids. We gotta check them. We gotta check them on the shit and make them look at themselves at how stupid they are behaving. But yeah, anyways, that's basically all I have to say. Young mothers, come on, step your stuff up. Step it up. Stop messing with these little niggas, because a lot of these women, their boyfriends or their baby dads are nothing but niggas. And, it rolls over to these women. They think a certain way, they act a certain way. And, sisters, step up for your kids. Step up for your kids. Just don't be responsible for them financially, but be there for them educational wise, spiritually, all of that, really, all of that. Anyways, that's what I have to say. You guys take care. Peace out. Shalom.